Hello, this is a presentation on deep learning for Bitcoin prediction, presented by Team 6. I'm Aditya Kadole and I'm going to cover motivation, problem statement, dataset, and the approach. As we all know, machine learning has been successful in predicting the prices through a host of different series models. Its application in predicting the Bitcoin price has been restricted. The high volatility leads to great potential of high profit if intelligent predicting strategies are taken. As compared to the traditional stock prices, Bitcoin suffers lack of indexes and hence is comparatively unpredictable with traditional approach. Hence, the motivation behind this project is to build a trained model to predict Bitcoin using LSTM. We are going to predict the Bitcoin price from 2018 to 2020 using LSTM model by training the dataset from the year 2012 to 2018. As 18 months of data is being considered for testing and related work doesn't provide a baseline for such a long duration, we are expecting mean absolute error to be absolute comparatively less than $500 USD. So the data set that is being used is from Kaggle website called Bitcoin Historical Data. It includes day-to-day per minute transactions from the year 2012 to 2020. As the data set consists of 4.3 million transactions and every minute transactions are not recorded, the null values present in the data set which will be discarded. We will be considering only day-to-day level transactions for further analysis. From the graph, we can inform that the weighted price for the daily transaction is continuous. So we are considering 2,326 samples for training and 607 samples for testing. The approach towards the project is to check for stationarity. In the dataset, to confirm the stationarity, we have performed augmented decay-Fuller test, seasonal decomposition, and autocorrelation with differences. Next, we perform data pre-processing and building the LSTM model and running the test data for generating the predictions. So the next presentation will be continued by Shreyas.
The next step involves performing the stationarity check for in order to make sure it's a time series forecasting eligible data. Wherein the first test we performed over here was the augmented Dickey-Fuller test. The augmented Dickey-Fuller test provides a p-value of 0.4901, which is greater than 0.05. Hence, we can't reject the null hypothesis over here. Hence, we perform the further analysis using the seasonal decomposition of the weighted price of the Bitcoin, which generated the four values, that is the trend, seasonal, residual, and the ordinal. So the value over here, you can see that there is a continuous increase and decrease of the value over. That's the reason it's eligible for the time series forecasting. The next step involved the pre-processing. The pre-processing of the data, wherein we are dividing the data set into the test and the train of 80-20 rule, where the null values, whatever is present, is being dropped. And then the normalization step using the min-max scalar to get it to a uniform range of 0 to 1. And that involves getting the Z values over here. And the next step involves our hyperparameter, that is a time step deciding factor. So where we consider the previous 100 values of the weighted price of the Bitcoin as an input and generate the Y value for, and the current value as a Y value, and generate the sequence of data for the test and the train. So since the model that is best suited for the time series forecasting over here is the RNN, the RNN involves storing the previous data and using it as an input for the next layer. So the long short-term memory network is the best suited type of RNN what we have used, because it can do the deep learning in various large level architectures like ours. That's the reason we are performing the LSTM model. And the model we built initially consisted of 3 layers of LSTM separated by a dropout layer in between. And there was a final flattening before it was passed on to the dense layer to perform the predictions. But here we got a higher loss. Hence, we had to fine tune the model. We laid down the LSTM layers back to back with a dropout layer at the final outcome, and flattening the result and passing it on to the dense layers. So that's how we were able to generate the best model with the least MAE, that is a mean absolute score. And further analysis about the hyperparameter tuning will be taken over by Srihari.
Yeah, I'm here to explain about the hyperparameter tuning that we have done on the model. And we have tuned hyperparameters including learning rate, batch size, and epoch. And initially we tried with epoch 20 and batch size 16 and varied learning rate in order to get the low mean absolute error. And we also tried changing the epoch from 20 to 50, keeping other two variables constant. And we have also tried with other combination, and we ended up getting epoch 20 and batch size 16 and learning rate 0.001, which fetched us very low validation loss of 0.01599. And we have plotted the graph against epoch and mean absolute error, and from the graph it is very evident that validation mean absolute error is higher than the training mean absolute error. Yeah, regarding the lessons, we have plotted the gap against number of days in the test data against batch weighted price. Sorry, bit weighted price, and we have considered data from 9th month of 2018 to 5th month of 2020, and in the graph it is very evident that actual price and predicted price are not varying much, and we got a root mean square value of 443.6 and mean absolute error of 306.4, which is like which matches with the baseline. And next slide. Here we have predicted the for month of April, and we have considered date from 12 4 2020 to 22 4 2020, and it is very much evident that predicted price and actual price is not deviating much, and we ended up getting the best possible model as we could. And hereby we thank Edgar Loberton for giving us this opportunity to work on this project. Thank you.